hello, and welcome to the Cup Ringside, part of the Cup Network, where we give you the best seat in the house on all things WWE. And baby, we are here to talk about money in the bank. And I have to say, I'm not going into this like I've been going into other pay per views because I'm actually excited about this pay per view. So some people might not be. I personally am, so I'm excited to talk about it. But hello, I am Lana, your resident evil diva, and I'm here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I love me some tea. Purr. And if you have some tea, you know what to do. Hit me up. I'm just drinking on some water here. It's okay. It's hot. And if you're living in a hot place, stay hydrated. Drink your water. Um, but I'm not drinking it out of it, but I should be drinking out of my cup mug. But my cup mug is my cup holder for all things, everything. So I have all
Cup
kinds of stuff
mug,
in here.
cup mug, cup
Cup
mug,
mug.
cup mug.
I would love to say panel full of cup mugs, but I mean, I will say three of us have cup mugs. We just don't
Donovan.
have them with us. But
Working on it.
we will get Donovan a cup mug eventually. But you can get your cup mug at Lana G's Creations .etsy.com. Not just the mug, but all of our merch. We have some really cool stuff from there. If you haven't checked out the shop, you should do it like right now because we got some really good stuff that you should check out. And we do ship internationally and domestically here in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. So there are no excuses. Get your cup merch, period.
Link in the description below.
Absolutely. It would go to you, Donovan, since you're at the top. I know you're not used to it, but there you go.
My name is Donovan. I am considered the young OG of the Cup Ringside, and we're here to talk some Money in the Bank, which is shaping up to look really, really nice. I'm excited to talk about it and watch it on Saturday.
Period.
That would be
Well,
Wesley.
well, you know what it is. You know what is happening. I am back. My
Do we know
vacation
what
arc
it is?
is over. It's over. It's done.
Finally.
I am back. I have me a small burn. It's cool. No, North Carolina was great. I'm back to do some great predicting. As I said, and you can see on the bottom, I am cashing in my correct predictions because I will be correct. And I am drinking a mocktail that's Cthulhu inspired out of my Cthulhu mug. It's got some crazy amount of berries and all that. So I'm ready to predict and I'm ready to cash in.
Somebody's fancy.
Speaking of fancy, hello, peasants. It is I, the queen of the Cup Ringside, Queen Brooke. I know I didn't win yet, but when I win this Saturday, I expect on the recap to be given another all-hail Queen Brooke, just like what happened at King and Queen of the Ring. It will happen again, and I'm here to predict Money in the Bank because I don't need to cash in. I've already got a title, so I mean, it's fine. It is what it is. So I know what it is, and what it is I'm the queen. So moving on. This is going to be a really interesting Money in the Bank. I think this might be the hardest pay-per-view to call so far this year. At least for me. For me. So we're going to see what happens with your predictions, see how right everyone is and how wrong everyone is. And, I'll probably come in last again like I did at Backlash, but it doesn't matter. I'm the queen for the year. So
We'll see. We'll see what happens. But before we jump in, I will say subscribe to this channel. Duh. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, do that. Hit the notification bell. We ain't too proud to beg here at the Cup. Please, please, please. If we want to get in the algorithm, we want to get out there. We're a new channel. We starting to do our thing, and we going through our growing pains, but we doing it. And so we ask that you take the time to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you will know every time we drop a video because we do come out with video on a weekly basis. So we want you to always be aware. And we're doing something different after Money in the Bank. So we are going to need you to be aware of what's happening. And when I'm saying what it is, we're changing up our weekly shows because usually we had a Raw take, Who's Next, laying the SmackDown. Well, we're going to take that and we're going to condense it into one show for the week and call it, I think we figured it out. is going to be the ringside wrap up.
Yeah, ringside wrap up coming to you guys after Money in the Bank, so keep your eyes open for that. And we're just gonna see if we like it a little bit better this way. You know, filming the 3 shows weekly. I mean, one, it's a lot of time consumed for all of us, but two, it's a lot of content to watch. Especially considering when we have multiple panelists on it, like we normally do, the banter can get extensive and it can take a lot longer than maybe it should. And this way, we're going to be getting you all more condensed content that isn't long and drawn out. And it's also going to be, in my opinion, stronger content because it's going to have a lot of us there instead of just 2 or 3 of us there.
And it's just going to show the highlights of all of our shows. Like, we're going to have representation from Raw Take. We're going to have representation from Who's Next. We're going to have representation from Land of SmackDown. And we're going to give our highlights of what we thought what was the best things of the week. We're not going to talk about the whole shows because y'all watch the shows. I know you watched it or you wouldn't be watching us. But you watch the shows. We'll give you the highlights. We're going to see how that works. We're testing the waters. Y'all let us know if you like it. Y'all let us know if you don't like it. If you don't like it, we can always go back to our weekly shows. No big deal. But if you like it, you know, we'll do what we got to do. Mm-hmm. But you can follow all of our other channels. I said we're part of a network. So we have 3 other channels that you can follow. You can hit the link tree in the description below so you can find and click all the links to subscribe to all of those channels. And you can follow our audio podcast if you want to listen to us on the go. And you can get the link to our membership page to get early access to all the content across all 4 channels and exclusive content across all 4 channels. We're coming up with some exclusive content here from Ringside just for you guys. We're gonna figure it out so we can be a part of that membership channel as well. So be on the lookout. But you have to join the membership to get the exclusive content. You gotta join. So.
You know what's not going to be exclusive, though? These Money in the Bank predictions. So let's just get into it. Let's just go for it. Because, like the women's Money in the Bank holders, I am getting impatient and I'm going to cash in within a month. So let's do it.
A month? I'm cashing in tonight.
Tonight.
I'm cashing in tonight. I don't know what you're talking about.
Liv Morgan wishes she could cash in this fast.
A month. Please.
A month.
We do it right away. I don't know about.
It's fine. It's fine.
That's. Oh, this is the one I wanted. I knew I'll find it. Duh. Here we go. So let's get into it. Money in the Bank. I put it in the order what I thought it might be the card. So. We'll see, because I know how y'all been WWE. I see what y'all been doing lately, and I know y'all gonna start off with the women's Money in the Bank because y'all know they go cash in probably that night. But no, because
where on who?
Oh wait. That's what I'm saying. Let me come back. We can't cash in that night because there's no women's championship that night.
Hey, you know what? They were dealing with a bunch of women who needed to cash in immediately. They at least made it where it can't be same day because there's no match on today.
I just want a friendly reminder. We have 5 matches on this card, and 4 of them are men's feuds. I'm irritated. I'm pissy.
Irritated. But
a little irritated. I get that we have 2 Money in the Bank matches, and that is automatically going to take the slot. But like, you're telling me that if we had a match right there. Liv Morgan and Zelina Vega could have been on this card instead of on Raw on Monday. And you could have maybe taken a little bit of time away from what I'm assuming will be a 30-minute match between the Bloodline and the Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes contingent. You could have taken 15 minutes from that, made it a whole segment for Liv and Zelina and let them have a nice match. And instead, you shoved it on Raw on Monday. Lazy, Triple H. By the way, lazy.
You watched Raw. It was good. Good match.
It was a good match. Great match.
I watched Raw. It was a good match.
That satellite DDT Zelina hit on Liv, by the way, beautiful. Crisp.
Beautiful.
10 out of 10.
It was good. It was really good.
But yeah,
let's talk about this match. We're not going to talk about Zelina and Liv, the what could have been. Let's talk about what it is. And we have Io Sky, Lyra Valkyria, Tiffany Stratton, Naomi, Zoe Stark, and Chelsea Green.
Chelsea Green.
All in the Money in the Bank. What y'all think?
Before I even do a prediction or comment on this match, I just want to say there is a woman who should have been in this match that is not in this match, and I feel really bad for her, and that woman is Dakota Kai.
Dakota Kai,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
because okay, I like Zoe Stark. I think I've made that pretty clear. I like Zoe Stark. I think she's very talented. I think she's very athletic. I think this thing going on with her, Shayna Baszler, and Sonya Deville that hasn't gotten any time on Raw lately is interesting. But why is she in this match? Because this slot felt tailor-made for Dakota Kai. I could have seen Dakota Kai winning the briefcase this week if she was in this match. Kind of like accelerate more of that damage control drama and be like, oh, Dakota Kai, who got pushed aside for this feud last year between Bayley and Io, is now winning the briefcase. And suddenly it's like, oh, okay, where's damage control going to go from here? And now she's not even in the match, especially after that whole streaming thing that happened this past weekend. I was like, give her an opportunity as a singles wrestler because she's been in this company other than like a week-long break for like 6-7 years now, and they've never given her anything outside of a few tag runs, and that's just, she deserves so much better than that.
Agreed.
All right, but let's roll into the 6 people we got, because you said, why is Zoe Stark in this match? Is it to win? I don't know.
No.
But what I can tell you is that we have some incredible wrestling that's going to happen in this match. I can tell you who's going to win, but I'll save that for the end because spoilers. But what I can also confirm, as Westradamus has told me, is this is going to be one of the best or the best match of the night. When you have Lyra, when you have Tiffany, when you have Naomi, when you have Zoe Stark and Chelsea and Io, these women are incredible. Like, in our roster right now, I can only name maybe a few wrestlers who need to add to make this just the 6 best women in the ring currently. So that's kind of my take on it, is it's going to be a good match. But who's going to win this match? I don't see it going any other way. I think it's Tiffy time.
No.
No.
I disagree with that one.
To borrow a quote from LA Knight, nada.
No. Donovan, what you think?
I'm stuck. I've narrowed it down to 2 people. My heart wants Naomi to win. I don't see her winning. That's my heart. I think it's either Tiffany Stratton or Chelsea Green. I'm just going to have to pick, and I'm going to pick Tiffany. I don't know.
Ugh, Donovan, you just broke my heart.
Donovan, we're on the right side, which means we're on the right side.
I don't understand the logic here, Lana. Can you try to make some sense of this and see if we're on the same page?
I mean, for me, I don't think Tiffany's going to win yet because I think she's having this back and forth, and she's having, like, Nia's her protector, and I don't think it's Tiffy time yet. I think Nia will come. Nia could come out and be a part of this match and create some drama, but I feel like it's so many people in this match who could have people come out for them, and it could turn into something really interesting. I do agree with one thing, Wes. This might be the match of the night. I do think this has the possibility to be one of the best matches of the night, but my prediction is Naomi, because I feel like she is the only person in this match who can't get a title shot again with Bayley without having a contract, because they're too close of a friends. They're too close as friends, and the match doesn't seem. I need Naomi to cash in on Bayley, and Bayley be shocked, like, wait, what? We were friends. Why would you cash in? And it's like, it is what it is, which could cause Naomi to get a heel turn, which I wouldn't mind because I thought Naomi was a great heel when she was a heel. I didn't mind Naomi as a heel. I don't want it to go to EO because I don't want that same damage control nonsense back and forth again. We didn't have that. We didn't did that. Um, I wouldn't mind Chelsea because it would just be fun to see Chelsea Green holding that briefcase and walking around
Agreed.
with the briefcase and annoying everybody. And it'll be fun. I don't think it's Zoe or Lyra's time right now. I don't think it's their time right now. I think seeing it got for me, it got to be between Naomi and Chelsea, and I'm gonna pick Naomi.
See, for me, it was also between Naomi and Chelsea. I will say though, you reminding me that the whole Nia Tiffany Stratton thing is going on because I forgot about that. I don't watch SmackDown too regularly at the moment. That's gonna change next week. But as of right now, I just haven't been tuning in every week, and I forgot that was going on, and that does give me a little bit of pause and think, okay, maybe Tiffany could win. Nia beats Bayley at SummerSlam, and then you have this interesting dynamic between Tiffany and Nia. But my problem with that is if that were to happen, you'd almost have to either turn Nia face, which that did not work last time they tried, or you'd have to turn Tiffany Stratton face. And I don't know how you turn Tiffany Stratton face and make it work. I don't think it could right now. I think she's just such a good heel. It almost feels like when you turned Lacey Evans face for a little bit, it just didn't work. And I don't think either one of them is in a spot where they need their character changed enough for me to buy that. So then the other option if Tiffany wins is Bayley beats Nia, and then after Bayley beats Nia, Tiffany cashes in on Bayley and becomes champ. I like that less, honestly. So to me, Tiffany's out. I don't think it's going to be anybody on Raw. I think that women's title division is clearly earmarked for Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley for the foreseeable future. So I don't think it's going to be any of them. So that leads me to Naomi and Chelsea. I could see it being both of them, and I think this match is really a coin flip for me. Do they want to let Naomi have the briefcase for a long time? I could see that, and I think that makes perfect sense. Do they want to let Chelsea Green have the briefcase for 10 months and be the most annoying presence on television, which means she's going to be the best thing on television, like she has been since she got re-signed? I want that more. As much as I love Naomi, if Naomi wins, we're throwing a party, okay? 1,000%. But in my heart, what I want is Chelsea Green between the two of them. So I'm going to pick Chelsea for my coin flip.
Okay. I mean, I think, see, here's the thing when we're talking about, I said everybody in this match has somebody who will come out for them and ride with them. Because you got Tiffany and Nia, you got Piper with Chelsea, you got Shayna with Zoe, you got Bianca and Jade Cargill with Naomi, you got
and
Damage
Bayley to a
Control,
lesser extent,
and Bayley actually with Naomi. You got Damage Control with EO. The only person who has no one to come out for them is Lyra.
And I think that's interesting because if you go back to her NXT days, there is people down there that would have came out for Lyra. But I feel like Lyra being in this match is kind of weird. I don't know why she's here.
Well, she's getting a freaking rocket attached to her. That's what's happening.
Right.
Why though? That's my question is why.
I think they're trying to push and elevate, but I think she's going to end up in a lot of spaces where we're like, why is she here? But the more her presence is felt, we'll start to understand why she's there. I think she had a good showing at the Queen of the Ring. So I feel like they're just going to put her in places where she can just be there and have a good showing. And then we'll be like, okay. And after a while, it won't be, why is Lyra there? It's like, oh, she deserves to be there.
Yeah. Well, she kind of feels very similar to...
Oh, go ahead, Wes. Go ahead.
Thank you. She feels very similar to me to someone who I think gave her a massive rub, and we started seeing Lyra being pushed to the moon after this, is the whole Becky Lynch of it all. Because when Becky went down to NXT and saw what she saw in Lyra, I think Becky has given Lyra the personal rub, even behind the scenes, to Triple H.
Probably.
And I don't see any reason wrong with it. I think Lyra's incredible in the ring. I think she can deliver against the right people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's her time to win Money in the Bank. But just like Becky, I think in 4 years you'll be seeing her all over the main card.
I just don't want to talk about a woman who's no longer with WWE. Happily, I'm happy she's not here right now. But when it comes to
What a hater.
Lyra, I am a hater. You're correct. I'm the biggest hater.
What a hater.
Insert Kendrick quote here.
Right.
But like, no, I cannot stand Becky right now. I'm over her. I need time to rebuild our relationship, as it were. And when it comes to this, I want it to be Chelsea or Naomi. I think they are the two that earned it based off of what they have done on the product this past year. At least since Naomi came back, and Chelsea since she got re-signed too. I think they've both just been incredible presences on television, and I think they've both earned this opportunity with the briefcase. So either one of them winning, I'm happy. I'm picking Chelsea.
Wow. Okay. Wesley seems to have a face about that whole.
Yeah, I'm just shocked that the statement, these are the two most deserving women who have earned it over the last year, are even said when we've had Io Sky, who's been showing up, especially in all of her matches on the promos the best she can. Great presence with Bayley into WrestleMania. Tiffany Stratton, who very well might be God's gift to wrestling in the women's division. Like, I don't know. Out of the two, if I was like the most deserving of the last years, I don't know if I'm going to go with Chelsea Green. Sorry, but that's just me.
That's fine. The whole God's gift to wrestling thing just made me throw up a little bit in my stomach, but we move.
She's so talented.
She's talented, but
she's a genetic freak and not normal like somebody else coming up.
Sami Zayn, Braun Breaker. I think here we are with this match. I don't know why I'd have such strong, like, won't hatred, but disgust for this Braun Breaker. I don't know why. He's a great, talented wrestler. Don't get me wrong. I just don't like this man. But I know he's going to win. And that's the thing. I hate that he's going to win, but I know he's going to win. And he probably deserves to win. I just am not. I haven't bought the Kool-Aid of the whole Braun Breaker, his whole I'm mad at the world bit and I'm taking it out on everybody bit. Like, I'm not buying it because, dude, you were just down in NXT talking about with Corbin and y'all were just, we're happy, we're great, buddy. And now you come up to the main roster, you're like, chip on my shoulder. You ain't been there long enough to get a chip on your shoulder. And you mad at the world? Like, bruh, come on. Like, I need you to be there 2-3 more years before you got a chip on your shoulder and you mad at everybody because you're getting passed up for stuff. Like, how come I wasn't in King of the Ring? You just got here. Relax, homeboys. People who ain't never been in the King of the Ring, who've been there for 15 years. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm not buying his bit yet. Like, I feel like it's way too early for us to have, I'm mad, beef, because I have been looked over. Bruh, come on. Like, I'm not buying it. He's gonna win. He probably deserves to win, but whatever. I'm not buying it. I'm not. That's my take.
Sorry, quick question, Lana. I know you said you're not buying the Kool-Aid, but where can I go purchase some?
You can go purchase it wherever Braun Breaker sells it, and you can drink all my field too, because I'm not.
Every single segment that Braun Breaker has been in since he came to Monday Night Raw has been perfect. Okay, it has been amazing to watch. Okay, Braun got I feel you, Lana. Braun has went from, I'll be honest, a flat character in NXT for me with this whole thing with Baron Corbin and the Wolf Dogs, which I ironically enjoy the Wolf Dogs, but as a team it's kind of boring. Versus to now with this unique twist on this character of, I'm entitled, but let me show you why I'm entitled. Okay, because to me, if he's just like, oh, I want opportunities, and he's not paying off those opportunities, That would be a reason not to put him in these matches and give him these chances. But he has been steamrolling everybody since he came to Raw. The only thing I didn't like about him on Raw was actually this last segment we had on Monday with Sami Zayn. I think the stronger way to portray this match going into it, because I feel like everyone thinks it's just going to be a Braun Breaker steamroll, is he hits Sami with that spear, goes to hit him with that second spear into the steel steps, and Sami moves out of the way, and then Braun hits the steps, and you end the segment. Don't have Braun get back up and hit Sami with another spear. I thought it was weird and stupid, because the whole thing is that you need to portray Sami as this like plucky underdog that has this resiliency and determination, which has been his gimmick for the past, I don't know, year and a half now. And like Braun is this big, overwhelming, conquering force that's gonna win the IC title from him. We need to have some hope that Sami's gonna win. I have none now, especially because we're in Canada. If we weren't in Canada, I'd have a little bit more hope. But knowing that we're in Canada, I just don't think Sami's winning this one. I am going to go with Braun, but I'm happily going to go with Braun because I think Sami's time as the IC champion has been fruitful. It has been good. It has kept that level of prestige that Gunther had the belt at. And I think Braun is going to be yet another person to keep the title at that upper level of in-ring performance and prestige of the belt.
Yeah, that's very, very, very fair. I would sit somewhere in the middle, shockingly, where I do not. I think Braun Breaker is incredibly good, but I do agree, Lana, that he is coming off as very, very, very impatient and kind of like a whiny kid of like, "Where's my medal?" It's like, bruh, you're in first grade. You're not even graduated. Like, what are you even doing right now? You just got here. But I think that's the point. I think the point is that he was actually supposed to be a little hateable for that reason. I think you're supposed to hate him a little with how he's treating management, with how he's treating wrestlers, heels and faces alike. And I want to akin his run almost to some early Lesnar stuff where it's just super, super dominant, but he's physically just completely built different in what he's able to do. Those delayed Frankensteiners, just the stuff in the ring is actually pretty incredible, which I will say, I said the women's might be the best match on the card. If I see Sami Zayn on the card, I've learned something of the last year. If you see Sami on the card and he's fighting someone who's very good in the ring, it's going to be the best match of the night. So this is probably going to be the best match of the night because how can Braun Breaker and Sami Zayn not put on a 5-star classic? I do think Braun Breaker is going to win. We all see what's happening here. He win, squash, squash, squash. I feel like I'm going outside in my farm and having like a harvest. It's just so much squash, you know? So he's going to come into Sami, although I think this is going to be the first match where Braun has to level up. Mm-hmm. I think what Braun has been doing is going to work against everyone until Sami has that Canadian crowd behind him, and he's going to start foaming at the mouth like he did against Gunther, elevate to that next level, and I think Braun is going to defeat, Super Saiyan Sami Zayn, but I think it's going to take a whole new level out of him. That's just me.
Well, how about myself on this one? I'm going Sami. And part of my reasoning is for what Wes just said. He's been getting so many squash matches that he's going to go up against Sami in Canada in front of his family and all his friends. And it's going to be a punch in the mouth. He's going to get hit in the mouth and be like, okay. I was running through all these people. I thought I was this big dog. But no, I ain't to where I thought I was yet. And I think Sami going to show him, at least right now, and be like, this is the main roster. You better get back in the lab and work. I think eventually, maybe SummerSlam, he does get the belt. I just think right now it's going to be, I thought I was going to come run through this whole roster, and then he got hit in the mouth. I was like, nah, you ain't just going to run through everybody. This is the main roster for a reason. This is the best talent in the world for a reason. And then he's going to have to go back and work his way back up and eventually win the belt.
I will say there is part of me that thinks maybe Sami could retain through like disqualification here. That like part of me is thinking that too. Yeah, it's like maybe like 5% of it. I just feel like Sami doesn't need to have the IC title anymore. And I think the way they had him take the belt off Gunther, have this cool feud with Chad Gable that should have went longer, it should have been more about them instead of about Chad and Alpha Academy, but whatever. Um, and then him lose the belt to Braun Breaker. He's like a longer term transitional champion here, and I think it makes a lot of sense, especially because Gunther's getting transitioned into the main event. Um, so Braun winning makes more sense to me here, but there is part of me that's like, maybe they will drag it out until SummerSlam. Maybe Braun will lose by a DQ or win by DQ or whatever. But we'll see.
We'll see. Let us move to Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, KO versus the Bloodline. Um, Here we are. I know everybody's gonna have their takes and everybody's gonna have their thoughts. Everybody's gonna have their moments of we don't care, who cares, we don't care. I am a Bloodline girly through and through. And I don't care how long this story goes. I'm always invested. I'm always set. And I'm always interested. Now, if you go bring Cody and Randy and KO into the feud with the Bloodline, sure, they can come in, they can do whatever. I'm still going to be invested and I'm still going to enjoy this match because I'm interested in this 2.0 bloodline. Like, I know a lot of people are like, nobody cares. Solo, when Roman comes back, it's going to be so much blah, blah, blah. We have to have a build up till whenever Roman decides to come back. And this is, for me, is a great way to have this. What happened on SmackDown with them beating up Paul Heyman because he would not acknowledge Solo as the tribal chief? I'm like, oh, cinematography is still strong in this story. I don't care. It is still strong. We have Paul Heyman, the best of the best on the mic, looking like he was scared to death. He been crying all night. He ain't slept for weeks. And he's like, you are not my tribal chief. And I'm like, oh, he's going to get beat down. And he did. And I'm like, did they need to go that extreme with Paul Heyman? No. One spike to the throat, the man was done. He wasn't getting up. But they had to show their dominance. Me personally, I still enjoy this because I need this to go on. So when Roman comes back, we can figure out what the heck is going to happen. Are we going to get the OG bloodline back? How is this called? I don't care. I'm still interested. I'm still invested. I think Solo taking over and we not knowing for sure if Roman has said he's taking over for real or not is quite interesting. Cody, I don't think he should be fighting in this fight though. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think this is. I mean, I get Cody has fought in the last few pay-per-views, defended his championship in the last few pay-per-views. It's now Damian Priest's turn to take over and do all that because Cody's been fighting every single pay-per-view since he's won the belt. And it's like, okay, he don't need to defend it this time. But I don't know if I care about Cody in this match. I feel like, I don't know, as the champion, shouldn't this be a little bit beneath you at some point? Like because Roman Reigns walked around champion, he was godlike. He said it himself, I am godlike. I decide what I engage with. I decide who I am going to waste my time with. And he never wasted time with little bitty feuds like I'm mad at this group and this group is mad. No, he sent other people to do it. I need Cody Rhodes to feel like a champion. To me, Cody Rhodes is not feeling like the champion that I want him to feel like. He feels like, I don't know, I think he feels like an everyday regular rinky-dink champion. Sure, he's a champion, but he's like, but I'm gonna get involved with this. I'm gonna go to NXT and get involved over there, and I'm gonna come over here and get involved over there. And I need my champion to. I don't know. I want better for Cody. I want better for Cody, and I don't want him in this feud. But if they go get involved, sure. Am I excited about this match? Sure. Do I think the Bloodline is winning this match? Probably.
Yeah.
See, I'm on the exact opposite side of the coin of Lana here. I am not a bloodline girly. I have never been a bloodline girly. Um, And I'm not going to pretend like I am. I think this is honestly the least interested I've been in the Bloodline in a hot minute. Even since, like, the last time I was really interested in the Bloodline was when Sami Zayn was feuding with them, like, last year. And since then, I've just been kind of bored with all of it. And now that they don't even have a Roman there to keep me interested, I am so uninterested in these men. I think Jacob Fatu deserves better than to be thrown in as just another guy in the Bloodline. He is so good in the ring, and he deserves way better than this. To me, that segment on SmackDown last week with the Bloodline and Paul Heyman was super great. I think that was the best thing they have done in a while with the Bloodline. But dear Lord, I'm bored. I think that Cody deserves to be in this feud because I'm also bored with Cody right now. So I think they deserve each other. The people I don't think they should be involved in this is Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, who I think they have been super fun as this like random, not really a tag team, but alliance of two people who just think the other guy's neat. I'm here for that. And I think that they deserve to be in a lot better spot than they are right now on the card. In this match, for me, I feel like I know the Bloodline is winning this match. And I honestly think Cody is going to be the man eating the pin here. I think Solo is going to pin Cody, and we're going to get Cody versus Solo at SummerSlam in the main event. And I'm not going to like it, but it's what's going to happen. I just feel like Cody has been the champion for almost 4 months. Oh, actually over 4 months now. And like, he feels like such an afterthought to me. Like, it's almost like, okay, Cody, we know you're going to be fighting Roman at WrestleMania next year. Okay, we know that's what's going to happen. Or maybe even at Rumble, and we're going to have Roman Rock, whatever. We know that's going to happen. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to put you in a bunch of random feuds to give you matches for the championship, so you're still defending it. You're the workhorse champion, all this other stuff. But none of these feuds are going to feel impactful. None of these feuds are going to matter long term. And at the end of the day, you're not going to change as a character. And I think that's what bothers me the most about it, is that Cody has just been a guy that has a championship. And I don't like that. I feel like Cody, when he was winning the championship, was more captivating. Maybe Cody just has a bad case of Lita syndrome and is just a way better championship chaser than he is a championship holder. Maybe the company just doesn't have anything to do with him until Roman does come back. I don't know, but like, I love AJ Styles and I like Cody. That feud did nothing for me. The match with Logan Paul did nothing for me. And at this point, I'm kind of checked out of Cody Rhodes as champion. So, sure, Bloodline's winning, but I'm just not into it.
All right. I've had enough. It's time. I'm pulling out the gat on both y'all for this ignorance. All right, it's time. So, firstly, I think that this is great. I am on neither of y'all's side about this. I think the Bloodline was good. I think I like it more now than at the end. I think that the end was befitting. We had years and years and years of Roman. I'm totally down to see what Solo Sikoa is doing. I'm totally down to see him in the fissure with Paul Heyman. I'm down for Tunga and Loa and Fatu. I think this is going to be an incredible 2.0, so I'm down and I'm rocking with the Bloodline more than I was when Cody won. That being said, I'm also so down for Cody's reign so far. And here's where my defense has to come in. First of all, as both of you have stated, he has defended in every pay-per-view since he's been champion. A lot of people was worried that what we were going to get was Roman Reigns 2.0, and because of Roman, we are going to go back to an era in the WWE where championships are never defended. In my personal opinion, I think what Cody has been doing is really good for the belt. He's been going to NXT. He's been showing his face everywhere. He's been getting into kerfuffles and feuds. He's been a full-time wrestler. And it's been a while since we had our champion be a full-time wrestler. It's not that he isn't a god. He is just a man. That's true. But I don't want every one of my championships to have to feel like a part-timer to feel like a champion. So there's that. But, Brooke, I gotta say, for someone who has been tuned out of SmackDown and not been watching the product, of course you feel disconnected to this SmackDown product. And yeah, I understand that there are other reasons, but I'm just saying is you can't say that you've given it your best shot You can't be a bloodline girly if you're never watching the bloodline. That's all I'm saying. To be fair, I also will say I think the bloodline's hand in this one. I think they are taking this dub. I don't know if it's going to be on Cody Rhodes or not, but I think that Jacob Fatu is going to play a key point in this match, and I think he's going to be the key player. And we are going to be seeing a little bit of star power from Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa, and seeing how well those two heads are going to be fighting for leadership maybe at some point in time. But at the end of the day, it's all too lit, and I'm actually super hyped for this match. So that's all.
To properly respond, I would just like to say I have been watching the Bloodline segments because I am at least kind of interested in championship stuff. It's just I don't care enough about this, even knowing what is going on with this, because I've been keeping up with this, and I've been keeping up with the Logan Paul LA Knight feud, and I've been keeping up with the tag titles, which the tag titles is funny. But like, I cannot be fussed about this match, and I'm not gonna be fussed about this match. Regardless of if Cody has been on pay-per-view and defending his title, his reigns and his feud has been boring. He has been wrestling good matches with good opponents, and the match quality has been great, but the actual reign and the feuds within it have been boring. Okay? It has nothing to do with Cody. It is purely booking, but his booking has been bad. That is not anything on him. It's on creative. Creative is dropping the ball on Cody's world title reign because there's no Roman Reigns. Okay? There's no stakes in these matches when he's been defending the belt because we all know he's not losing the belt. They've been good matches for the most part. I think the iQuit match was kind of mid. But, like, it's just, there's nothing there. It's a nothing burger of a reign because even though the matches are good, I'm getting no substance behind it. All you're serving me is a bread thing and telling me it's a burger. There's no meat to the burger.
Well, I guess I'm the middleman here. I think Cody's reign has been different, but I also think it's Roman's fault. And it's the fault of the booking, like you said, booking all of your champions to be part-time champions. Like all the champions that I can remember off the top of my head were all part-time champions for the most part. I think that WWE has adapted this mantra of your mega stars don't need to be there every week, and we've gotten used to it. And now that we have a title reign like Cody, where he's there every week, we're like, oh, we don't see the story because he's fighting every pay-per-view. There's no proper build-up to the feud. Like with Roman, you knew the match when he was there, it was something that had been brewing for months and months on end. And now Roman like, okay, I got to step in and handle this. With Cody, it's WWE realizing that Roman's gone. We don't have a big draw. Cody, go fight every month. I think that's the problem with his feud and why, Brooke, you may say that it's boring, because we've adapted this part-time champion mantra. As it pertains to this match, I'm intrigued. I was on TikTok earlier today, and I heard somebody say something. Solo has to win the championship at some point before Roman comes back. Because if he doesn't, Roman's going to come back and be like, you're calling yourself the tribal chief? You ain't even held no title. How you the tribal chief? You ain't had the top prize in the company. I done held this company down for years with the top belt. You ain't even held the belt. You can't call yourself no tribal chief. So I feel that the story has to be built for Solo to win the title off of Cody, which is why I agree with Brooke. I think, and the rest of you, I think the Bloodline is going to win. I think Solo is going to pin Cody, and they're going to go to SummerSlam and fight for the title. And I think Solo is going to win the belt. It may be for a month. It may be for a week. He may get it back that next week on SmackDown. I think he has to hold the belt, though, for them to set up the Bloodline Civil War when Roman comes back. So yeah, the Bloodline 2.0 is gonna win, and
It's just already a disadvantage. It's gonna be four of them out there against the three of them. It's already a disadvantage from the beginning, unless they bring somebody, which I wouldn't be surprised.
you know who I think is coming back. I think Jimmy's coming back from injury.
I mean, it's been rumored that Jimmy is supposed to be coming back at some point in time, and I know he want to come back and get his lick back on Solo, which I'm all about that. Is it going to happen on Money in the Bank? I don't know. Now, if that's the case, and the Bloodline ends up losing this match, that's going to take a turn into a different direction. That Solo, we might set up Solo and Jimmy at SummerSlam instead, which. I don't know. I just think.
And
go ahead.
I feel like I agree with the consensus that I think is going to be Cody versus Solo, but I think building to the fact I think Cody's winning at SummerSlam, because that way when The Rock and Roman come back, or just Roman comes back, he'll be able to rightfully look at Solo and be like, you have no place being tribal chief,
Right.
Because I don't think Solo is going to be able to hold that to him. And because if he actually has a reason to call himself tribal chief, then Roman coming back won't even feel, to me, as good. I feel like Solo Sikoa at the end of the day is a pretender. I don't think anyone can pretend otherwise. And so, I think we're eventually going to have to see Roman come back and really set the bloodline straight. But as it is, I think it's good for now. Like, we can't be so fickle to be like, oh man, we aren't getting WrestleMania 40 every month,
Hold up. No, let's not. I'm not going to let you mischaracterize me by saying that, okay? The feuds that Cody has been in since he has won the championship have not been about him or the belt. Cody has been a guy holding a championship. He has been an obstacle, and he has not changed at all. He has been samey. It's the same critique you would have had with John Cena in like 2008. He literally is a guy with a belt. People want the belt, and he is having matches for the belt. There's nothing interesting about these feuds. Even the AJ Styles thing, where they tried a little bit, and they had that like fake retirement Mark Henry thing that they totally botched, by the way. And to set up this I Quit match, I didn't buy it, and it wasn't believable to me because it didn't feel like the things that were happening made sense for the reign to occur. We know Cody is not dropping that belt until either A, Roman comes back and costs him that belt, and then the two of them fight, or Roman and Cody fight again. At least not until that happens. So because of that, all of these Cody feuds and all of this Cody stuff has felt pointless. I don't dislike Cody. I think he's a very talented wrestler, and I think it is the booking that is making his reign feel like a disservice when compared to stuff like, honestly, Damian Priest with the world title. I am buying all of that. I'm not buying this.
Well, we can all agree to disagree, but we must move on because we do have a Money in the Bank match to get to, and that is LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, Carmelo Hayes, Chad Gable, Jay Uso, and Andrade.
Great lineup of guys.
This is a great lineup.
Fantastic lineup of people.
This is going to be good. I mean, you can't tell by my tagline who I'm wanting to win this match. I just want you making too much noise with all that stuff, Donovan. But yeah, I definitely want Jey Uso to win this match. I think Jey Uso deserves to win this match. I think it's time to give main event Jey Uso a reason to be called main event Jey Uso, and he needs a title shot. And I think it's time. That's me personally. I feel like this is going to be such a good match with all of these different talented people that we have. I don't want anybody to win this Money in the Bank match and cash it in on a lower level belt. Like, I think that is the most pointless thing ever. I don't want you to win the Money in the Bank and then cash it in on a United States champion. Like, why would we do that? I don't
Austin
think that
Theory's stupid.
It's stupid. Stupid. Like, I don't get it, and I don't love it, and I feel like they're trying to set that same thing up with LA Knight, and I'm like, no, just give him the title shot. Like, we don't need him to cash in for no U.S. championship. That's dumb. I personally didn't think LA Knight needed to be in this match. I felt like it should have just been a U.S. title match against Logan Paul and LA Knight at Money in the Bank. Like, let's just do that, or save it for Survivor Series because y'all want it in Cleveland and that's where Logan, whatever. If that's what you want to do. But I don't feel like LA Knight should have been in this match. I think that the feud that he got going on with Logan Paul is fine enough. Like, let that continue, let that brew, let that simmer, let that stir. He not winning this match. LA Knight is not winning this match. I don't care how you put it, how we slice it. He not winning this match. So I feel like,
correct.
What's the point of him being here?
In the exact same way you feel about LA Knight, I feel about Drew McIntyre. I don't know why he's here.
He's not winning either. Like,
because, and this is what I told Wes, because Wes and I had a conversation before we got on the call, and I was like, the only way I see Drew McIntyre winning this match is if he wins, cashes in same night after Seth beats Damian, because, spoiler, that's why things going to happen there, and then Punk comes out and costs him that match and makes him lose the briefcase. That is the only way I see McIntyre winning this matchup, and even then, I don't think he should be here. There was an Ilya Dragunov sitting right there. I think that would have been really cool. You could have had the whole Sheamus and McIntyre get in each other's face, Punk's music hits, and McIntyre gets distracted, and the Ilya like rolls up Sheamus or something like that, or even rolls up McIntyre. I just feel like Ilya deserves to have a spot in this match, especially after this whole thing with Braun and Ricochet's kind of wrapped up. But dear Lord, I don't think anybody on SmackDown is getting anywhere close to this briefcase. It's not LA Knight, it's not Melo, and it's not Andrade. I will say though, if someone on SmackDown did win it, Andrade is the person I think is the most likely to win it, but I don't think it's going to happen. Looking at the Raw side, I could see a compelling argument for Jey Uso or Chad Gable. Now, here's my problem, okay? If Jey Uso wins this briefcase, okay, when would he theoretically cash in and who would it be on, right? I can't think of anybody off the top of my head that I would say, oh, Jey Uso cashing in on this guy makes sense, not only just from a belt perspective, but also the story that they have told to get him here. Right? I can do that with Chad Gable, though, because I can read in my mind and be like, okay, Seth Rollins beats Damian Priest, has a match with Gunther at SummerSlam. Gunther wins the belt there. And then after Gunther and Seth have a war, because it'll be a war, Chad Gable comes out and finally beats Gunther and wins the world title. I can see that. So in my brain, I don't care about this Wyatt 6 nonsense with Chad Gable. Okay, let them move on to Rey Mysterio and beat the crap out of him, please. That's what I want. So I'm gonna pick Chad Gable, as much as I think Jey Uso also deserves a briefcase. Like, if they could both win the briefcase, I would have them both win the briefcase. But because we can't, I'm picking Chad.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, so Money in the Bank, another incredible match. I'm totally with. It has to be one of the Raw guys. Totally there. I think it comes down to Chad and Jay. And I think that Master in the Bank, Gable, has been said at least 3 times in the last 3 weeks. I don't think you just let him say that over and over unless it's going to mean something. And so my bet is officially on Chad Gable, but I do want to point out one giant monkey wrench that could be thrown in the plans of Master Gable, and that is the Wyatt 6.
Oh.
And the reason why is because we might see them here, and who have they been friendly with? Jey Uso. Who have they been against? Chad Gable. So if it's coming down to these two, we might see a world where Chad Gable is bound and determined to win that match. The Wyatt 6 intervene in some way and somehow cost Chad Gable the match in some terrible horror machinational fashion. And then Jay, with the approval of the Wyatt 6, ends up winning the match. It could happen, although my money is still safely on Master in the Bank.
Master in the Bank. Woo.
I mean, we've heard Master in the Bank just as many times as we've heard Geet in the Bank.
The poster feels like it's a little bit of a red herring.
I'm about to say a whole poster with just Geet in the Bank. screams to me Jey Uso is winning this match. That is where my bet is going to go. But only because I think it would, because Brooke, you said something that made me think. You're like, where does Jay go with this belt? Who does, who the story doesn't line up how they would get to that point. One thing about Money in the Bank, and I know we say the Raw side is going to win because they're going to cash in on Damian Priest or Seth Rollins. The one thing about Money in the Bank that it is not strictly on one brand. And wouldn't it be ironic for Jey Uso to cash in a Money in the Bank on Cody Rhodes after Cody Rhodes brought him over to Raw and made this whole big thing of I saved you from the bloodline, brought you to Raw so you can get away from Raw. I've used all this clout. They've been friends. They've been tag team champions. They've been eating together and all kind of stuff. Only for Jay to snatch the belt from Cody before Roman could get it back. I mean, it's a far stretch. Don't get me wrong. It's a long road to get there, and I'm not saying that can happen. But wouldn't it be ironic? So I'm not counting out Jay. I think Jay is going to win this match, and I think it's going to be whoever he cashes the belt in on the contract, he's going to win it. So it just depends on who has it. But
yeah, I have been looking over all of the pay-per-views real quick just while we've been sitting here, just checking to see if the person on the poster has ever won the briefcase the year they've been on the poster. I will say I am currently at Money in the Bank 2020, and the answer so far has been a resounding no. So I don't know. It feels like a little too easy for Jay to win if he's on the poster with the briefcase already.
I mean,
first time for everything.
Sometimes the simple route is the best route. The way they've been talking about Jey Uso, yeeting the Money in the Yeet case, Mr. Yeet in the Bank. I agree with what you guys said. No one from SmackDown is winning. LA Knight, why are you here? Go feud with.
Hey, why are you here?
LA Knight,
go
why
get
did you
your
win the
US
briefcase
title
last year?
Go get your US title at SummerSlam. Drew McIntyre, why are you here?
Why are you here?
Go beat the brakes off CM Punk at SummerSlam.
Or not.
No, he hasn't done enough yet to me. Andrade hasn't done
or not.
Or not.
I didn't hear that, but
I mean, you said Drew could beat the crap out of CM Punk or not. I don't care. I just think it's going to be fun either way. Watching them go back and forth, it's hilarious to me. I don't care. I don't care who wins or loses. It's just funny. But yeah, Carmelo, like you said, hadn't been here enough. Go ahead.
It's down to Jey Uso and Chad Gable. I agree with Wes. I think, if you have the Wyatt Six constantly attacking and messing with Chad Gable, and then he goes and wins the briefcase, excuse me, where do you go from there? Because then you haven't won the briefcase just to lose it due to the Wyatt Six. Because I think they would interfere in that match. How much they've been messing with him, I don't see them not getting involved in that. So I think by default it has to go to Jey Uso. The thing about Money in the Bank is you may not see the storyline now. You don't have to. He had that briefcase for a year. Brooke, I agree with what you said. There's no who does he take the title off of right now? I don't see anybody. He's not taking it off of Cody. I don't think he would take it off of Gunther because I think he eventually gets the belt. But we don't have to see who he takes it off of right now. He can hold that thing past Mania next year, and then he can get involved with somebody where you can see him take that title off of them. Lana, you made me think of something. Not with Cody Rhodes, though. He's not taking that briefcase off of Cody Rhodes. What if Roman comes back, beats Cody for the belt, and then he cashes in on Roman?
He could do that too.
I
Or
would,
do it too.
if that happened, I would be thrilled.
I would be. I mean,
Yeet in the
he
bank.
should have beat Roman before, and Jimmy interrupted. So it could
He
be.
finally gets his win
He
over
probably
Roman.
get his do over, and maybe. I mean, it could happen.
I can see that happening, or he beats Solo, or something like that. Somewhere, someone gets the belt off of Cody, and then he could go to SmackDown and win that belt. I can see that happening.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Jey Uso is winning Yeet in the Bank.
I will say this does feel like the hardest match of the card to call for me personally, like in general. Like compared to everything else, I think the women's Money in the Bank is the only one's even close. I think both of them are kind of tough this year. I could see this going any of those ways, like either of the ways that we've talked about. And honestly, I could also see a world where Andrade pulls out a dark horse win to it. It would not shock me.
Interesting.
And you know what, Donovan? You've I'm gonna have to say here, I think you've convinced me. I think I'm gonna have to switch to Jey Uso. And it's because I think that you are right about if the Wyatt Six is attacking Chad Gable and they let him get Money in the Bank, something's happening and it's probably not good. So I think you're right. I think Jey needs to win. That way, if Roman eventually beats it off Cody or Sol Sikoa beats Cody, that means that Jey can cash in on one of those two later on, like SummerSlam Pass. But most importantly, I think the Wyatt Six are going to be the one to cost Gable. I think they're going to show up and he's going to get like obliterated, like his head's going to go in half or something. Like something
They're going
crazy.
to pack him up, please. When they debuted and he was backstage laid out, I was rolling laughing.
Yeah,
they shot him.
Yep, it's time, and you're right. So there you go. Before we move on to our potential main event, I'm gonna have to change my vote.
All right, I switched it. You're done. Nope.
I believe in Wyatt Six.
I guess the main event, Damian Priest, Seth freaking Rollins. If Damian Priest loses this match, he has to leave the Judgment Day. If Seth Rollins loses this match, he has to go to the back of the line. He has no chance of getting the belt again as long as Damian Priest is holding it. He cannot challenge for the belt ever again as long as he's holding it. Those are the stipulations.
I do not like the fact this match exists. I am angry. I am irritated. I am pissed because what was my one complaint consistently from May to WrestleMania last year? It was that Seth Rollins had the damn world title for 11 months and he should have dropped the belt on Nakamura. He should have dropped the belt way before this whole shit with McIntyre at Mania. He should have been stripped of that belt when he tore his knee. Okay, let's keep it 100. He should have dropped the belt to Jinder effing Mahal. I don't even care.
Too far.
No, I meant what I said. And I said
He said too far. He's too far.
I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. I am sick of this man on my screen. I don't care if he's been gone for 3 months.
The way everybody just looked at you, Brooke, everyone was like, Jinder Mahal.
We hindered Jinder over here.
Mini feud was kind of
hindered
interesting to me, I'm
Jinder
not
over
going to
here.
lie. But regardless, back on topic, we don't hinder Jinder. For me, I'm sick. I'm mad because I know what's gonna happen. I know who is walking out of Money in the Bank with that damn title around his fucking bedazzled waist again. And I'm so pissed that Seth motherfucking Rollins is gonna be world champ. And I'm so mad. I'm so mad.
Why am I so excited though?
Exactly.
They've done it again, Brooke. For some reason, you're totally right. And if you remember back during all those times, who did I root for? You're right. I rooted for Shinsuke Nakamura. I rooted for not Jinder Mahal, but I did for so many against Seth Rollins. I'm like, why does this man have this belt? Why? I can't. But here I am. I find myself just being a helpless fan, waiting, pining, looking forward to Damian Priest not being in the Judgment Day so much. For him and for the Judgment Day, I'm so ready for this Finn Balor takeover. I'm ready for these in-game politics. I'm ready for a little motion. And if that means I have to give the belt back to Seth Rollins, I'm so looking forward to it. I can't believe they've got me to this point, but they've hooked me again.
But why does it have to be Seth? Why can't it be anybody else? Why can't it be Chad Gable? Why can't it be Nakamura? Why can't it be anyone? Anybody else? You could have put Akira Tozawa in this match.
No, you didn't. No, you did not say Tozawa.
I'm so pissed that it has to be Seth Rollins again. Can we please? This is the same fucking problem I had when Becky Lynch came back and won that damn Battle Royal a few months ago, okay? Why do we keep going back to the well with these two? Let someone else have a title, dear God. So over it.
Brooke, I have not heard a Brooke rant like that, and I'm so mad that I was not prepared for the Brooke rant that we just got, because
oh my God,
that was A1. That was the best Brooke rant I think I've ever heard in my entire life.
Akira Tozawa.
Yeah, Tozawa.
I must be regal. I must regain my decorum. Okay. Lana, go ahead. Go ahead.
I can't. Oh my God. I can't even. Hold on. Okay.
Okay.
Let me relax. You're not wrong. And that's the whole thing about this whole rant. I want to be like, Brooke, you're losing it. Brooke, you're crazy. Brooke, you're wilding right now. I want to say all that, but I can't, because I kind of agree with you. Like anybody else,
Tozawa.
Rollins. Like it could have been anybody else, and I get it. Not Tozawa. I will not
Jinder Mahal.
And not Mahal. I'm not.
He doesn't even work for them anymore.
But like, I don't get how Seth Rollins can leave, be injured, be done for a while, and he walks right back in there, and he's right back at the top of the mountain. And when everybody else has to take this climb and get, I don't.
Yeah. But Lana, it's going to be the same way the Shield. It's those Shield people, because Roman's going to do it too.
That is true. And
it's four people that's going to do it. The Shield brothers, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch. Those four, they're always going to be around the title. No matter how long they're gone, as soon as they come back, they're going to be around the title.
Absolutely.
You just had to say the C word too.
Yep.
You're making me mad again. Here's my thing, okay? What I want to happen, is I want Damian Priest to win this match. Point blank end the period. Yeah. I think Damian Priest can get turned on by the Judgment Day at SummerSlam, and I'm way more interested in it there. Because also, if he does get turned on by the Judgment Day, why do they add this stipulation of if Rollins wins, Priest must leave the Judgment Day? No, if he gets turned on by the Judgment Day, he's just going to get turned on by the Judgment Day. They don't need to add the stipulation for it. On top of that, Seth Rollins not being able to challenge for a world title for any length of time, I'm down. I am so beyond down. So, like, ugh.
But here's the thing, though. This is what I didn't like about the stipulation of the whole he has to leave the Judgment Day, because we already seen, if you've been watching Raw, we've already seen the friction and the falling apart of the Judgment Day. They don't need help turning on him, because they're going to do that eventually anyway. And I think SummerSlam is a great opportunity for them to turn on him. Like, I don't think they need to have him just leave the Judgment Day. That's dumb. That's so boring. He loses the match and he just walks away. No, I want the Judgment Day. I want Finn Balor to get like, you changed. We don't like you anymore. We go take over. We kicking you out. and they turn on him for Rhea to come back and be like, what the heck happened while I was gone? Y'all can't do nothing right when I'm gone. And I want it to be in shambles when she gets back. They turn on Damian Priest, not him have to walk away, because that's just boring. I think Damian Priest is winning this match because I don't think that they are going to let Seth Rollins come right back, take the belt, start over, and then Priest leave the Judgment Day. Because I know WWE, they love a good faction turn and they love a good, beat down moment where it's like, we don't want you no more. So we finna turn on you when you least expect it. And I think that's what's gonna happen to the Judgment Day. I don't think Seth Rollins is winning this match. As much as your rant was correct on most parts, I don't think Seth is winning this match. I think Seth is here to make us believe that the Judgment Day is going to turn on Damian Priest. But honestly, I think Damian Priest is a really good champion, and he's actually been growing on me as a champion. And I think he's doing a really good job of being a champion. And I just think it's too early to take that away from him right now, going into SummerSlam. Now, if you want to take it to SummerSlam, I still don't think it'll be right because still think he's a great champion. But I would rather you do it then than do it at Money in the Bank. So I don't think Damien's losing this belt. My prediction is Damien's going to win.
And that's reasonable. But I have to add this one small thing, which is name someone that WWE likes more with a belt than Roman Reigns. The only answer is Seth freaking Rollins. Mm-hmm. And not just that. You are totally right, Lana. If Damian Priest loses and is forced to walk away, and then they turn on him, that's pointless. That's so lame. But I have to throw out the idea in the air that Damian Priest might have this match in the bag, and we might see Finn Balor do what he does this Saturday. Finn Balor is going to cost Damian Priest not just the title, but then the Judgment Day is going to jump him after he loses. I could see it happen, and I'm kind of down.
I don't want Seth to win, though. So your prediction, Seth is winning.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to get in my fantasy booking bag a little bit. I see multiple ways this match can end. I agree with Wes. Finn could turn Saturday during the match. They come jump him. I could see Liv Morgan come out trying to get her way into the Judgment Day.
Quote unquote
help and cost him the match. But I'm going to say Liv Morgan does come out, but she does help him win. It's going to lead to she's going to have everybody else fooled. She's going to full dominate. She's going to have Finn Balor and JD fooled. I think they're eventually going to turn on him. And when Rhea does come back, it's not going to be her Judgment Day anymore. I think it's going to be Liv Morgan's Judgment Day.
Yep.
Damian
she said she's taking everything.
And Rhea are now faces. I think Damian wins. I think Liv comes out, helps Damian Priest beat Finn Balor. I mean, not Finn Balor. Seth Rollins. But plot twist, he wins the Rumble anyway. He gets right back into the mix. That's fantasy booking down the line. I think he's going to win the Rumble.
You think Seth is winning the Rumble?
I think Seth's going to win the Rumble to get the title anyway.
But why not Cody?
Please, let's not again.
I mean,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, when it comes to this match, I know I literally just did a rant about how Seth Rollins is going to win this match. I think he probably is. But because I don't want him to this strongly, I am picking Damian Priest. I want it documented that I'm going to let my hatred motivate me this one time, and I'm going to let my hatred motivate me into a Damian Priest. Yeah, yes, Wes.
One time. Okay.
One time. Because no, it's the hatred. It is the unique combined hatred of Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins as champion that has manifested to this point. So I'm picking Damian Priest. I don't think he's gonna win, but that's who I want to win, and I am so happy that no matter what, even if Seth does win this match, he will only be champion for a month. So
You know what? And on that note, I say that's a good point to end on, Brooke. Let your hatred guide you. Period. So,
Before we
go ahead,
end,
Donovan.
is there any chance Jay wins and cashes in the same night on Damian Priest?
I don't think so.
I think if anybody cashes in on Damian Priest, it'll be Drew McIntyre, and I think Punk will cost him, and he'll have a failed cash in.
Yeah. I think
And,
there's
like,
a better
that's
chance
the only thing that
tonight
makes sense to me.
that a woman will cash in,
On who?
and that is no
and-
chance.
They go,
On bacon.
they go
On
cash in
cash in
on
on bacon.
they go cash in on Bailey sitting and catering.
That's right.
On
There's a
Liv's,
better chance of that. There is a better chance of that.
Liv hooking up with Dominic. That's
That's
where we go.
They're going to cash in. There's a better chance of it happening in the hotel room
Yeah.
than there is for Jay to cash in tonight.
Okay. So overall, are we excited about Money in the Bank?
Oh yeah.
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 Not Brooke. Brooke always has. You know what? Never mind.
Final
Always
take-
got to have a think piece of them. Maybe not.
Final takeaway: it's gonna be a good pay-per-view. I can't wait, and yay, more international stuff, even if it's just in Canada.
Lord have mercy. Everybody like, yep. Brooke. Let me think about it.
I'm dead, y'all. I'm dead.
Oh, I'm done. Okay, y'all. That's how we roll here on Ringside. But y'all know what to do. Hit the subscribe button on your way out and the notification bell, all the things. Go to our description below in the link tree. Click on all the links to all of our channels. Subscribe to all of them. Also down there, as well as our membership. I was definitely frozen.
Me too. What the
Yep.
heck, Pepper?
That's okay.
Yeah, YouTube are lagging real bad.
I just got the thing, but it's okay. That's how we're ending it. We ended on a we froze note. But bye.
It happens. It happens.
It does.